guys. Today I just want to give you guys 3 tips on how to be a better producer. So we're gonna start off with the first tip. First tip, this goes without saying, you gotta watch more tutorials. Every day you should always watch a tutorial, whether it's 15 minutes or 30 minutes. And if you're not a person that can like sit down and or have a short attention span and you just can't really focus for a long period of time, you gotta really get good at this. So the way to practice it is either watch like a 5 minute tutorial every day, and then every other day you build up to like by 5 minutes. So let's say on Monday you watch for 5 minutes, and then Tuesday you watch for 5 minutes, then Wednesday watch for 10 minutes, and then Thursday watch for 10 minutes, and just keep building that way, because this is really the best way to learn, is just watching from other people. Like, there's many ways to learn music, but it's like, if you really think about it, like, you're not gonna really learn how to make a beat by reading. And then you could just either collab with other people, but most people don't have that luxury to go to different studios or have a lot of friends that are really into this music stuff like that. So the best thing that you could just resort back to is pretty much watching tutorials every day. And you want to watch them in segments. So what I mean by segments is like, you don't just want to watch how to make a beat, especially if you're a beginner. You want to break it down. Like, either you want to study drums for the first week, or you want to study melodies. I promise you, if you break your stuff down into segments, like, okay, I'm gonna focus on drums, or I'm gonna focus on percussions, getting better at different segments, you're gonna be a better producer in no time. And this is not like, oh, you're gonna be a better producer in a month. But if you break it down into segments, you're definitely gonna be a good producer in 6 months. Like, that's really the trick. There's no secret. Like, you really just gotta put in the work, and you really gotta be smart of how you put in the work, how you practice, pretty much. Going on to step number 2, or tip number 2, I should say. So tip number 2 is critical and analytical listening. And not to get all big with these terms, what it's pretty much saying is listening to music differently than the average listener. And so that's either listening out for the snare, or listening out for the clap, kick, or hi-hats, listening out for the patterns, the rhythm patterns, or like the delay on the snare, or just listening to certain effects. So, and also, I think I always get these two mixed up. So the other one is more focused on the emotion that is bringing, and the instrument of what emotion is coming from that instrument. So, most of the time when you hear brass, like hard brass, it's war time, you feel me? Piano is very like versatile and everything. It could be sad, happy, it could be war in a sense. But brass really has that, it's like really sound selection for the most part. So just kind of think about it like that. But when you listen to music, just, you know, spend some time listening to your favorite song. Listen out for how they doing their kick pattern. Listen out for the bass, how the bass sound. Is it distorted, or is it just kind of smooth in the background like R&B? So paying attention to the details is pretty much what critical analytical listening is. And honestly, that should be the first tip. And that's actually the best tip for beginners, so you could really start to build these patterns in your head of how good music is made. Good music, I'll say. Like, if you do if you do this and watch tutorials every day, you're gonna be great. Like, a lot of people think, oh, you have to just make beats every day and you just get better over time. Don't listen to when people say that, oh yeah, it's gonna take years, because it took them years. It took me years, but I'm telling you now that it doesn't have to take you hella years. You could be a better producer than me in 6 months. You feel me? And I'm cool with that. I'm still getting better every day, but I want you guys to get better faster and be more efficient, because I was told, oh yeah, you just have to crank out beats and you get better over time, rather than someone telling me like systematic stuff that I could do. splitting this stuff into different methods and getting better like that. Third tip, last tip, is pretty much air training. Like there's two ways I look at air training. You could do air training for like understanding frequencies and hearing compression, hearing the reverb in the sound, being able to like identify those off the back, or you could the next air training would be more of like, piano stuff. So, knowing the keys, hearing the chords. They're both good trainings. What I would say for a new beginner, if you're not gonna really be playing the piano as much, you know, you could do the air training so you can know notes and be able to like make your beats a lot faster when it comes to melodies. But I would say probably focus more on frequencies, because most of your time as a producer is going to be spent mixing, and you really want to have a nice clean mix. You want to listen out if the bass is too loud, or if the kick needs EQ, or if your sound needs EQ, or what needs reverb and what needs delay. And being able to hear that makes the difference, and mixing just becomes a lot more fun after that. So I hope these tips help you guys. Share with another producer friend that's starting out, and just kind of, really go about this, and even like put it on your calendar. Make this an everyday thing. I promise in 6 months you could really be great if you do this every day. Like, and if you're looking out for, you could go to soundgym.co, I think. Soundgym.co. You can just put Soundgym in Google, and that is going to give you a great air training program to go to. And I mean, I used to use it. I don't really use it too much, to be honest, and I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but it's definitely a great website. Like, I think it's like $14 a month or whatever. If you're doing that every day, I was doing it like almost every day, and I was able to hear like everything when I was in the FL Studio. I'm hearing, okay, this frequency is at 500 hertz that's making this sound. Like, it was getting crazy. I don't know why I stopped. We fall off and shit. But anytime you fall off, just always get back on. Don't worry about, oh, you was on a streak for 100 days and then you just kind of fell off. Just get back on. That's all it is. So, have a nice one.